Hello, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick video to share my experience with the eclipse that we had on April the 8th. I know that I'm sharing a little bit late, but I chose to wait until I had time to process my experience and also to kind of let the sensationalism around it die down. And I'm sharing because I feel like it'll be beneficial to others to hear what we've all experienced. And I would love for you to also share with me your own personal experience. So, what was really interesting about this particular eclipse, it took me back to the eclipse we had in 2017 when the media was like, look, 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 everything that you heard was go look at this eclipse. There were t-shirts being sold and glasses being sold and all this memorabilia. And I remember just looking in my own friend circle and family group, how many were so excited and were making plans, even traveling to go participate in that eclipse. And it was really being promoted heavily. And I thought about the eclipse that we were experiencing here in April in 2024, and it was don't look at the eclipse, don't go outside. Potential National Guard troops being brought in, um, schools actually being canceled, and things of that nature. And I was like, wow, they're not wanting anyone to pay attention to this eclipse. I wonder why. And I'm not the kind of person to go with what the collective is doing. I'm pretty much going to do things the way that I choose to do them. And I'm really stubborn like that, you know? And so I thought a lot about what some of my friends were sharing about this particular eclipse in that, well, let's look at what the indigenous, how they handle it. And it was often, thought in the indigenous tribes that the eclipses were some type of imposition, some type of manipulation, and many would go inside and not participate whatsoever. And that's what I did in 2017. In 2017, I knew not to participate in that eclipse. Instead, I kind of stayed awake that night. I could not really sleep, and I stayed awake and I connected with the earth. And um, I was able to actually see the implementation at that time of the 5G grids that were being implemented on our planet. The where people like to say that, we're on a prison planet. That's never resonated with me. It's been more of we're on a beautiful natural planet, this mother that cares for us, and there's a prison that's being built on this planet that is to imprison us and to disconnect us from the sun, disconnect us from the earth. And so that's what I could actually see being implemented was these invisible fences, this invisible dome. And so I sat that entire night in meditation with the earth to support her. And I could see the blue light actually being implemented on large scales, on a large scale at that time. And so I was just really made so aware of what was happening. And I dealt with that energy at that time. So what have experienced with this 20 eclipse that we had on April the 8th, 2024, I decided to do my own thing. At first, I was like, I'm not going to have anything to do with it. In the morning of, I woke up and I said to my husband, I said, what do you think about just going and observing the eclipse? And he said, well, I thought we agreed that that's not what we're doing. And I said, I know, but I am feeling something inside of me that says we should. So we went to this location that was like a scenic overlook. And I thought we'll have it all to ourselves. There won't be anyone, on this in this particular area. But when we got there, to my surprise, there were quite a few people that were there observing. So I was like, okay, um, I'm still gonna do, I'm still gonna sit here with Mother Earth and sit here with um, our son, and I'm going to support them in this process, whatever this is. I didn't go by the glasses, and I, I never would have any intention of using these glasses anyway. And so um, we just sat in our car. I was going to get out and just really connect on the earth, but there were so many people there that I could not find a place that I could really feel that I could connect. So I found a way in our car to do so because I have a sunroof and I had my windows down and I was in a direction where I could do this. And I'm really setting the scene, and I want to share my experience because it was such a profound experience for myself and for my husband. And I feel like it's beneficial to share this with others. And so, um, you know, when I went to actually, I started connecting with the sun before the eclipse took place. I was out there, we were out there a little early, and I just did a meditation and supported the sun and the earth in the way that I felt that I could offer that. And when I was gazing at the sun, I started to connect with his being and what he was experiencing in this moment. And I actually could feel this relationship between the sun and the earth, their divine love for one another, the true masculine and feminine that we all want to embody in a natural organic state. If there's ever such a thing on the earthly realm, I don't really see the twin flame thing um, as being what it's taught in the New Age community. But I really felt that if there was ever a sense of what a twin flame is, it would be with the sun and the earth, that true union of the divine masculine and feminine, and not from a religious standpoint. So I want to be really clear when I say divine, that I'm not using that in a religious connotation, that it's just that pure, authentic love that's shared between the masculine and the feminine without the distortion. And I really connected to that. And what came to me was, this eclipse really is an imposition that's happening with the sun, with the earth, and with our humanity, with all organic life. And so as I was seeing the eclipse start to unfold, I knew right away that that was not the moon. And we all may have differences of opinions on what the moon is. Um, and this is not really about what the moon is. This is in that eclipse. This was not the moon that was actually eclipsing the sun. I felt there was an object that was put there, and it was like a frequency weapon, and it was being used as a war against the sun and the earth and that connection, and that connection that also is our connection to the sun and the earth and to our infinite nature, and about altering frequencies on this planet in this disconnect. And it all goes back to trying to keep us from remembering who we are, why we came here, and what our purpose is. And as I was feeling that imposition, I really felt the overwhelming sadness that the earth was feeling, that the sun was feeling. And I just wanted to hold the space of love and acknowledgement in what was taking place at that time. And so when my husband and I were sharing what we each experienced, and we were looking directly, we didn't use any glasses, and neither one of us lost our eyesight, neither one of us have damage. So, I was like, looking straight into the sun, looking into this eclipse, all these fears that, rise up, and everyone's like, you've got to have these glasses if you're going to look. And we did it, and we're perfectly fine. But what we did connect to when I was connected I kept seeing this nail, like this image of a nail going straight through the sun. And I was really trying to process that. What is this? And I immediately went into this really deep feeling of grief because I recognized that this was like the story that we hear about Jesus being nailed to the cross. This was an energetic nailing of the cross, nailing the sun to a cross, so to speak, um, metaphorically. And I'm no expert at how all of these things work. So you're just from just an average person just sharing their experience. This is what I tuned into. This is the frequency that I tuned into, and this was what was taking place. And so I immediately knew, I was like, okay, this is something that's very energetically similar to what we would have thought of the story of a man being nailed to a cross, but it's happening in the it's happening to our son directly, not to a physical man on this earth. And I was thinking about the relationship between, the story that's told about Jesus and Mary, his mother, and Mary Magdalene, and all the people that participated in this. And I'm like, this is such a very similar feeling to we're all watching this take place. This is an energetic attack where this son is literally being like held back and suppressed. And we're spectators. And I really felt the sadness. A lot of people are looking at this as some sort of entertainment, and they're not really having an understanding of what exactly is happening to our humanity and to our sun and our earth in a time like this, and to our universe, just how we're all affected by such a energetic attack that's there to distort the frequencies and to alter our communication and our connection with one another. And so I wasn't verbalizing this to my husband at the time. And he shared with me what he had seen. And he said, I don't know what I was seeing, but I kept seeing the number 7 and like a nail. And I was like, what? Okay. And I was like, I was so grateful that we had this moment that we shared together. I said, because you confirmed for me what I just experienced. I didn't see the 7, but it makes so much sense to me because I'm connecting myself to what appears to be like Jesus being nailed to the cross. But instead, I'm just getting that visual because that's the way that my greater being was translating to me for my understanding to see what was happening. And I said, you just confirm that. And we know that in, Christianity, the number 7 is like the number of God. And so you're just confirming exactly, and you were connected to something, and you didn't know exactly what it was that you were connecting to, but you helped me in the completion of the story that was being shown to me. I have a kitty cat trying to visit with us. All right, that's Neo. And so I was so appreciative that he shared that with me. And I recognized just how much there is at this moment in time an imposition that wants to stop us from remembering, that wants to stop us from connecting. We are coming to an end of a cycle. It is time for humanity to remember who we are because it's our time to leave and to go back to our home, go back to where we came from, go off onto a journey of our choice, whatever it is that we want to do. But it's our time of birthing, and everything is being implemented that possibly can be to keep us distracted and to keep us from doing that so that we do choose to allow ourselves to go into some type of virtual reality. That is what the harvesting is. The harvesting is going to present you whatever option it is that you want. If you have chosen to buy into religious belief systems and you want to see a god, then you're going to have a hologram of a god appear. That's where we're headed. This is about harvesting the human soul. It's about stopping the birthing process. It's about this disconnect. And I just really wanted to share my experience with you all to let you know that that's what I saw at that time, and also to allow others to, if they want to comment and share what they experienced. And one thing that I wanted to add, um, that I that after this took place, was that my husband noticed immediately. He said, "The sun is out, and do you know how it doesn't feel warm out here? It feels like it's 10 degrees cooler." And so I stretched out and I was like, "You're right. I feel that. It does. It feels 10 degrees cooler." So something was happening in that moment that I actually was keeping the sun from really truly connecting. The temperature had changed so dramatically. And then when I was speaking with another friend of mine, she shared that she had the same experience. Now she didn't know, I hadn't shared with her what we had experienced, but she was sharing with me. And I said, "Well, I'm going to give you a confirmation that that is absolutely accurate because we observed the same thing when we were connecting." And then I'm going to share another piece of what was shared with me as well. The acquaintances and family members that I have that actually put the glasses on developed cold-like symptoms after the fact. And I thought, okay, I didn't experience anything like that. My husband didn't experience anything like that, but I'm hearing multiple stories of those that put those glasses on have flu-like and cold-like symptoms, and they still have them to this day. My question is, what do you possibly think could be on those glasses that would create that? Is there the potential? This was brought up by one of my friends when I was sharing. Is it possible that this graphene technology or some type of technology was put into the film of these glasses that would allow some dark force to enter uh, into the bodies during the time of this eclipse? I don't know. I just know that the people that I have spoken with that wore the glasses, and I'm sure that's not the case for everyone, but for some, they actually experienced what are cold and flu-like symptoms. What I really want to just share here is that this was definitely for me. This was not a true eclipse. It wasn't and I know that we have astrology that's going to, probably say otherwise. Um, I want to say that if there was a natural eclipse that was taking place, there was something done to divert that eclipse or distort that eclipse, and there was another object that was put in between, because I connected to it and I saw it, and in my communication with the sun and the earth, I was given that confirmation. And I don't share this with the intent of upsetting anyone, to you know for whatever you experienced at that time. And this, I'm just strictly sharing this for those that might find something here that's of value to them, that they resonate with, and also for you to share any experience that you had. I really want to know if anyone else was experiencing what I was, where I could actually see that this was an energetic, it was a frequency. I feel like we're living at a time right now where these are frequency wars. And to me, that was an attack on our energetic bodies and our energetic connection to the sun and the earth. And this is just a quick, short video, just me sharing my experience. And you are welcome to share your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, I welcome anything that you have to offer, any insight or wisdom that you have to share as well. And thank you for listening to the video. And I hope that it was beneficial in what I shared. And I get this is not professionally done. I'm not really much of a professional. You know that about me if you've ever paid attention to my videos. It's just something that I felt was just very relevant to share. And and anything that you want to add to it, I really appreciate. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I really appreciate it. Much love.